Our next song is I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day as it's performed by Casting Crowns. And the carol has always been one of my favorites lyrically, but there's always been one stanza that kind of stood out against the rest. And in despair I bowed my head. There is no peace on earth, I said, for hate is strong and marks the song of peace on earth, goodwill to men. Such a discordant note against the otherwise strong and stirring and hopeful lyrics sent me to research the backstory just a little bit. The words for I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day come from a poem by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Longfellow wrote the poem Christmas Bells on Christmas Day in 1864. The Civil War still raged, though hope loomed on the horizon with Union advances and the re-election of Abraham Lincoln. Two stanzas eventually left out when it became a carol later spoke of thundering cannons drowning out Christmas carols and a continent made forlorn. The national juxtaposition of hope and uncertainty rang even truer with Henry Wadsworth Longfellow personally. On July 9th, just 3 months before the bombardment of Fort Sumter in the Civil War, Longfellow's family suffered a very personal tragedy. A heat wave had come through Massachusetts and prompted his wife, Fanny, to trim the locks of their little girl, and she decided to save some of the curls. As she heated the wax to seal the envelope, hot drops of wax fell into her dress, and a sudden breeze set her dress afire. In an effort to protect her daughters from the flames, she rushed into Longfellow's study. He tried to extinguish the flames with a rug and then threw himself on her, severely burning his own hands and face. But his wife died the next morning. Longfellow's grief and injuries were so great he was unable to attend her funeral. In his journal that first Christmas after his wife's death, Longfellow wrote, "How inexpressibly sad are all holidays." His journal says, "I can make no record of these days. Better leave them wrapped in silence. Perhaps someday God will give me peace." In 1862, he wrote, "Merry Christmas, says the children, but that's no more for me." In late 1863, he received word that his eldest son, who was in the Civil War Army, Charles, had been severely wounded and been crippled in battle. He didn't even make a journal entry on Christmas in 1863. On Christmas Day in 1864, however, Longfellow wrote Christmas Bells. The sound of the pealing bells penetrates the despair Longfellow had been experiencing, filled him with hope that God is not dead, nor does he sleep. The wrong shall fail, the right prevail. Christmas Bells in its entirety is in your program. Read it through sometime. On Christmas Day in 1864, the sound of the bells reached through Longfellow's grief and despair to remind him what the promise of Christ is all about. Hope. Hope and certainty that God is neither dead nor asleep. Hope that right will prevail over wrong. And hope that peace and goodwill will cover the earth. The lesson of the Christmas Bells is about coming to understand that though it may not seem so at times, peace awaits, patiently, sometimes unseen, for those who faithfully persevere. So listen for the bells. They're ringing, always ringing, waiting for us to listen and have peace.
Strong and marks the song is not dead, nor